Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome to my YouTube. My name is Chris, and as we know, it's Tuesday. It's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're here to talk about dumb things, deep diving into dumb things, just the most superficial, unimportant things in the world, just as if it really matters, just to be with friends who for some reason care deeply about sharing space together and talking about these dumb things. So tonight we'll be continuing on the journey of 90 Day Fiancé. This is The Other Way, season 7, episode 2. It's a live recap. So this is the third installment of how I'm framing these live recaps, was just come in the room, let's hang out. Hi, come in. Give my algorithm some love. Thumbs up, if you don't mind, a little thumbs it up, thumbs it up, thumbs it up, thumbs it up. And we'll talk about a couple of things before we start. And then at the end of the podcast, we'll have a little bookend convo so we can really make sure that we are addressing all the concerns. I have 2 of the Summer Fridays lip products with me. This is the pink sugar. It's Maddie's favorite from Reality Gaze. And this is the poppy, which I'm wearing now, which is like a coral color, which I really enjoy. Hi, yay! Oh shit! Sorry. Oh, no, I did the wrong thing. Oh no, I accidentally banned Quasi. Oh no, how do I do that? Oh, goodness gracious, I made a huge mistake. Eek. I went to go put your comment up, my love, and then I did the opposite. So now how do I go back and change that? Wow, what a loss. Good thing this is, something we don't actually have to keep in the RSS feed. We can just edit this out. You guys, I'm so sorry. So Mickey, just know I'm gonna get you back. It's my own fault. Until I can really have a producer just making sure I don't do such things live. Hello, how are you? It's been such a great week so far. And by week so far, I mean one day. And in that one day, I got some headshots back that I wanted to share with you. And I started a brand new Chekhov class. And I'm so excited because I really love Chekhov. It's my favorite playwright. He is a Russian playwright. He wrote 4 masterworks. It's The Seagull, Uncle Vanya, Cherry Orchard, 3 Sisters, and some other stuff. I mean, there's some short stories you might know, and Ivanov, other plays we don't talk about. Anyway, hi Joslo. So I made I'm afraid to touch anyone's comments now. My loves, hello. So yeah, I also got some new headshots back, and so I thought we would have a little preview sesh. These are unretouched. So untouched. What do we think? Now here's the thing. It's me over here. I'm trying to do some other new shots that indicate the fact that I've aged, but also that I have curly hair. Definitely color helps, right? The red. Look how cute this one is. And then I get green. That's not really a headshot. That's more like me pretending I'm a fashion model, but I figured why not? She can be both, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I know, right? What else is happening with you guys? What's happening? Oh my gosh, I just honestly miss doing live so much and being able to talk to you all. I literally accidentally banned our good friend, and now I'm desperate to get Mickey back, and yet what can I do? Okay, my loves, you know what? I'm going to have to deal with that when I'm off. What's out? Yeah, what's been happening? How was your weekends? The red is the best one. First one looks great for a stand-up. But okay, great. Ah, yay. Okay, good. All right, my loves. I have all the things. I have pictures. I have notes. I have attitude, and I have snark. Thumbs it up. Anyway, my loves. Okay, at 6 minutes, we're going to start. Hello, my name is Chris Farah, and welcome as we do a live recap of 90 Day Fiancé. It is The Other Way. It is episode 2 of season 7, and this was called Hasta la Vista, when it should be called Hasta la Pasta. We know why, and we're going to get into it. But obviously, Hasta la Vista is from Terminator. Now, I saw Terminator a lot growing up. I saw it so much that I feel tattooed, almost imprinted on my soul, what a vision of the future prophesized given to me was, which is by James Cameron, which I feel like is happening. And I feel like, turns out, I was the only one that watched Terminator, I guess, because it seems like AI is Skynet and all of that Chat GPT is all the same thing. And that's just what, 1 year away from fucking robots in the sky eating us, hunting us, and we're scavages, like we are cockroaches running around Sunset Boulevard trying to hide in rubble because no one wants to fucking format an email anymore or break up with someone. I mean, is that what it is? That is okay. That is, maybe you think dramatic, but I feel like the direct line of everyone just giving up their ability to express themselves, as well as surrendering their intelligence to a higher intelligence, which is computers, not human, not God, computers, which I guess, and then I would literally need someone to make that whole argument to me. And then maybe that argument ends with, yeah, and we bow down to them. So if the end result is human beings have not done a good enough job to govern this world, nor ourselves, nor animals, and listen, it's an argument, so that let's just see if machines do it better. If that's the thing, then I think I just need to be told, because as a society member, again, I watched Terminator, so it feels like society should be against it. Okay. But here we are. Thank you so much. Let's get into the first couple, and it's, yes, Jenny and Sumit. I love Jenny and Sumit this season. I actually really love a lot of couples this season because there's a lot of new couples, and so we can get into it. Jenny and Sumit. However, great. I mean, just honestly great. So here we pick up on the fact that Jenny is obviously living now with Sumit, and their super, super, super cute nephew as well. His name is Anshu. It's right there. Now, I'm going to tell you right thing. Anshu is going to save a lot of the scenes and situations for the season. A good kid always does. Now, I always raise an eyebrow when kids are on TV because they have absolutely no ability to say they're not into it or not. And at the same time, reality shows are disasters, and at the same time, what levity they bring. So it's a dual sword, maybe even triple-edged sword. So as the nephew plays with Sumit and he has a broken finger, Jenny gets a lot into the fact that she feels like the family is intruding. They want her to throw away her shoes and get rid of a lot of her things, and that's all true. And at the same time, she has to now help and do a lot of the family obligation things she doesn't want to do. For instance, get up early. For instance, cowtail /serve/ cater to Sumit's mom, all of that, but mostly cook. And it's to me, the cooking is the best part. She would rather clean, but cooking to me is not that hard. However, it's time now for her to cook, so she has to ask Shati to get some pans, she says, for noodles and sauce. Um, Now we get a picture of the kitchen. I remember, obviously Jenny being absolutely tormented over how messy her kitchen was. So now I'm sort of like, why is there all that stuff on the counter? Why is that water bottle there? And what's that big, what is that? I mean, okay, maybe the elephant has to be there, but like a lot of those things, like whatever's piled upon the toaster oven, isn't there a shelf that could be there? Okay. What is Jenny making for this family? Like she said American food early on, and her version of American food certainly is not Italian, but what it is just dry pasta, hasta la pasta, and ragu. A bottle of ragu, the kind you can get any drugstore, mini mart. If you walk into the shittiest gas station and they have one kind of sauce, it's ragu. It used to be Prego. Remember when it used to be Prego versus ragu? You never see Prego anymore. Ragu like took over. Maybe ragu bought Prego. I'm not quite sure. But definitely Jenny is going to just open up that can and just pour it in. And it feels like she puts in one package of pasta and is like, I hope it's enough. Now, to me, no. But at the same time, what she understands is that there's not even enough bowls for people. Which is also like, okay, but if you're going to go shopping for kitchen supplies, remember when they went shopping for kitchen supplies? And that was last episode. More bowls weren't part of it. Also, Jenny and Sumit, like you just moved from your house. You didn't bring any of your bowls? How come you don't have enough bowls for people? Doesn't that seem like a mildly basic, a bowls? Um, she, of course, makes the pasta and no one enjoys it. And she tries to liven it up by adding, what is the American butter to that type of American pasta, which is, of course, Parmesan, packaged dry. It's the granules, it's the sand, it's Parmesan sand, it's green, it comes in a green can. It's so funny, the branding of certain kinds of kitchen staples that feel like bad memories, like almost like sad friends we used to like hang out with when we had no one else in like 4th and 5th grade, but we knew that they weren't really like our lifelong peeps. But there was no one else and you needed a friend and you got hungry, but it's like, but when you see them out and about now, like if you're like confronted with one, you're like, oh yeah, no, I know, I get it. I mean, desperate times calls for desperate measures, but I wouldn't choose it again. And that's the way I feel, except Jenny is seasoned and she just doesn't care. Yeah, it's so inedible that no one enjoys it, which is fine because there's not even enough bowls nor enough pasta. Like I feel like you need to see me. What is the next scene? Like, is the next scene that they order dumplings, mushu? I mean, I forgot momos. Okay, so as we know, as I have somewhat touched upon, the next big thing in the Jenny Sumit saga is the fact that Sumit got his family, including his dad, to invest all of their money, and the dad retired, into a cafe. Now, we remember that Sumit was cooking at a cafe before, but just he was cooking. And who knows exactly what that meant? Sous chef, busser. I'm just saying, there's a lot of words. So he, having moved into their house and basically just having clawed back from black sheep status into almost preferred favorite because the mom hates Cherie and kind of like the other son now. So he's like, that's what's happening. We're opening a cafe together. Jenny can't cook, but Jenny is just so happy because she has a reason to A, leave the house, and B, get to eat somewhere else, which is at this cafe. She likes Sumit's cooking, which I'm sure he's like, well, I cook like my mom. I mean, is Sumit that great of a cook? I mean, come on. She says again that she's going to clean. Now, the next morning, it's like their time to start their life together. They're going to go check out the area in which they're going to have a cafe. They seemingly just bought a space unseen, talked to someone who was like, yeah, I'm going to start constructing it. And then they are now going to check out where they've invested all the money. But before then, Jenny has her first day. Now, here's the thing. Jenny likes to do what I like to do, which is get up, push snooze 14 times, lay in bed, check your phone, check your email, check your Instagram, check Reddit, check everything again, maybe miss something, refresh all the feeds, and then go back to bed and try and see if you can sleep like a couple more minutes. Now, maybe you can, maybe you can't. Maybe you go back on your phone, but at some point your mouth is dry or you have to pee and you're like, I have to leave this area. It's called a bed. I'm going to exit it. And then I'm going to walk into a different space. It's a different room. That's when Jenny is confronted with the truth that Jenny no longer can do such things because Jenny is in a familial living arrangement and they expect to see her up, bright and about, bushy-eyed, bushy-tailed, doing things, catering to. So next great scene. So she's like, oh, I have to get up. She goes up, gets out, and Sumit's mom is like, chai? And Jenny's like, me? No. Coffee first thing in the morning for me, honey. Coffee, black. Thank you. And Cherie's like, no, bitch. She wants chai. You make her, she's literally being like, why aren't you making tea? It's your time to make tea. Make the tea. She's reminding you to do something. And Jenny's going to have to get into something. Like either she's going to have to get into chai or she's going to have to tea or she's going to have to like get them into coffee. Because the truth of the matter is it's not that hard really to make either one, especially for a large group of people, especially if you're already going to make some for yourself. And unless you're like me, which I have grown accustomed to my single ways where I have one of those Nespressos. So I just like push a button when I put a pot in. So, and even then you can get a big crap. But at the same time, it's like she is only too happy to let us know how lazy she is and how unwilling she is to understand there are obligations expected upon her. Because even if she was like, you guys, I know there is. I don't fucking care. I'm old. I'd be like, yeah, totally, Jenny. But you better not fucking ever live with them then. And Jenny has now twice chosen this road. So I'm just saying, that is okay. So we get to the cafe. The cafe is tiny, but in like a food court area where there are chairs and tables and people. There's people on foot. There's college kids, hungry college kids racing. I mean, from one class to one class. And what they need is just like a little moo-moos, And here's the thing. I love the idea of what kind of area this is, which is just, again, like a beautiful communal area where people get to pick and choose where they want and then sit and gather with friends over food. It's actually kind of great. At some points, I'm like, maybe there can be like a little stage. Maybe there can be a band. I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes, or some sort of music. You can really have like poetry readings. I don't know what happens, honey. You can do a comedy night. But at the same time, all of that's great, except for one thing. Yes, their place is tiny. And when Jenny comes in, she's like, you can't put an oven in here. And he is like, no, bitch, we don't have to like work with ovens. We're not Wolfgang Puck. She's literally talking about a built-in oven. And he's like, no, we're just going to have like a hot plate. I'm just going to make them on a hot plate. She's like, okay. Now that's one thing. And it is tiny. But the second thing that comes out is that there's no water. There's no water. So in order to wash anything / use water for cooking, you have to create the solutions. And the solutions are shitty. Like, bring in water from a jug. And it's like, well, that's an annoying thing to have to do. How big are the jugs? Are other people doing that as well? But then again, I understand plumbing looks different, honey, in different countries. So then all the family gets there and they see it and they're like, that's shitty. The brother's like, absolutely fucking not. I mean, the mom, everyone's like, you're dumb. And Sumit's like, about to Tasmanian devil into the ground because he feels such shame over being a failure and whatnot. They slowly consider moving to another location, and this location is just not a big foot traffic location. Honey, you need people talking, people walking. You need people moving and grooving, and that way they get hungry. But you also need water from the ground. Like, there's got to be a well. You have to be able to do something. I mean, I don't know what kind of dishes, what your dishes look like if you can try and maintain just using a grill maybe and just like some, I mean, I hate to say it, like parchment paper for serving. I'm not quite sure, paper plates, but at the same time, what are the other restaurants in that area using? Do they all have sinks and they were just like, fuck that one? Do they have a one sink that they're like, no, not you? Can they use one of their sinks and like pay them? Or is it all like fend for yourselves? It's like a survival of the fittest, which I get. Okay. Yeah. I am going to move on. Let's move on to Johnny, honey. Johnny, 32, Aruba. Now we know Johnny. Johnny is with Khloe, and we met Khloe first. Johnny lovingly describes himself as the first mate and DJ, provides the alcohol works on Jolly Pirates, which is obviously like a booze cruise in Aruba that people get to go to, sign up for. And basically, there's just local tanned, shirtless gentlemen hosting wildly inebriated people from out of town on a boat. And the general theme, again, pirates. Yo ho. You forget that he's 32 and she's like 23, but really don't forget that. Because a lot of what he says, specifically his fears over Khloe, are because of the choices he's making in dating someone young. Okay. So again, he met Khloe doing what he loves, which is yo-hoing on this boat. And he was like, she's great, has a great body. So, I mean, great. And then we met, and then I was like, well, she'll never come back. But she came back. I didn't expect it, but she just kept coming back. And he's like, I fear though, because A, I want to change my life, and B, she can be very jealous. And obviously I have to do such things as like flirt with the girls because that's how I get tips and whatnot. But also I don't trust her, which is a recipe for disaster. And again, as I said, he sort of is like, see, the thing with her, the thing that I fear is that she's just not mature enough yet, that she hasn't got out of her party girl phase yet, that she is like the other American girls that I boned, which is someone who will bone me or someone like me on a cruise ship. Like, that's kind of what he's saying, low key. When you're like, Johnny, you've been on this ship for how long? She is 23. No, she is. She is 23. She's lived a very sheltered life under the absolute wing of her mother. She, let's just be honest, because I can look back, probably doesn't really know herself. Because when you're that young and you're that sheltered and you have identities that you've clung to, such as cheerleading or pageant work or being the lookalike daughter of a loud personality, like all of that, and believe me, I can understand, robs especially a younger person, of the ability to experiment and understand who they are intrinsically. So you often find someone of such a nature, like a little monkey, swinging from branch to branch as they traverse, a jungle, finding ultimately the tree they are. Now, here's the thing. I know this, and I think Johnny might know this. But what I want to know, and I can't wait to see, is Johnny's relationship with Chloe's mom is great. And obviously we're going to get it because when we go, back to Chloe's house, obviously Michelle, which is her mom, and is talking about how much she's going to miss Teddy, which is Chloe's dog. And as we know, they're moving to Aruba. Now, the mom is going to come in a week, which is already set up, which is fine because I can't wait to see that scene, as well as her mom is not driving her to the airport. Also, the mom, we find out, doesn't quite know about the infidelity, the cheating that Johnny did, which we talked about last episode, which was basically while they were dating, he went to America, Florida, told her that he was going with dudes, but then she saw on social media that he was with a girl. And then when he was like, "Who's that girl?" She was like, "Who's that girl?" He was like, "My girlfriend, and we're in an open relationship." And then also, "I'm sorry, you're right. It was a mistake." So very confusing. But Michelle does not know that, and Khloe has kept it from her because it will taint Michelle's opinion of him. And, her opinion, I'm sure, means a lot. And Khloe, as I said, she knows intrinsically that her mom's going to think it's a bad idea. And her mom's going to be there for it. So her mom doesn't drive her to the airport, but you know who she takes with her? Her like Stanley, which is great. And in the car, she like has a really beautiful scene with, well, beautiful is a big word. But she has, a scene with the producer, and then she says something in the confessional which I found interesting and a great metaphor. So here's what she says. She's the girl, like that, this is low key kind of like my version of that. She's the girl that has to trust as a cheerleader to get thrown up in the air all the time and yet not fear that she's just going to fall flat on her face, which is indicative of this moment for her. She has to just jump. Just fucking hope. And I feel like I don't do that a lot. I don't jump and just hope. I'm so fearful and I really want to like maneuver in controlled, safe ways. And I wonder what progress and what evolution comes from such like unbridled faith, leaps of faith, if you will. And I really don't do it. And so I guess my question is to you listening is, do you feel like you're someone who does that a lot or who doesn't do it a lot? And the times in which you've done it, have you been happy with it? And do you feel like there are inevitable needs in any human life to just fucking unabashedly jump without, not just without a safety net, but let's just say even with some red flags or some concerns? It's interesting. So, Johnny's interesting. He has a whole ass bird wing span neck tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Just on his fucking neck. It's huge. It's there. I mean, it's all across it. It must have been really painful, I feel like, to put on. I mean, I wouldn't have chosen that for myself, but we also find out something else, which is that in a conversation that Johnny has with his friend, which he's complaining about Khloe for being jealous and maybe for also maybe having cheated on him. We'll get into that story in a minute. But basically, he also says that he's annoyed because Khloe has access to cameras and she often is checking to see like where he is. And if she doesn't see where he is because something is face the wrong way or he stands like in a position where you can't see the camera, she will like freak out. Now, of course, he's cheated on her. And then we hear the story, which is that one time she was sleeping and he grabbed her phone and like saw texts with some dude where she was like texting sexy things. And she defended herself by basically saying nothing happened and then sort of snitched on herself when they later agreed to move on from this moment forward, not or like being exclusive, like not doing any of that shit anymore. What do you think? Do you think that happened? And I think that it did happen. But at the same time, if he went to Florida with some girl and she's 23 now, I'm just like that plus 23 girl now equals, yeah, like she's going to do whatever it takes for her to feel good, happy, or satisfied, or like safe. And I don't know if John is ever going to make her feel those things like in Aruba, but I can't wait to find out. It seems like such a messy, bad idea. It almost gives the idea that she's a little more like mean girl rebellious than she is. I I like because like okay, let me also say this. I love the fact that we haven't met a lot of her friends who are like, no, don't go, except for that one mom friend. But we have no like young friends of hers. Like none of the other cheerleaders or like cute girls that she hangs out with. We just had that again, her one mom friend that's like married to someone else. I wonder what Chloe's actual life is like. It- we know besides that she has the opportunity to step into the shadow of her mom and just take over her mom's business. And I wonder if this is just her first move in life to cut the umbilical cord from her mom and be like, no, instead, I choose Johnny, yo ho, jolly pirate life for me in Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, he's going to take me to, like I, it seems so obvious that I almost wonder why Chloe's mom isn't angrier at this. Also, yeah, Chloe's dad, I know that Chloe's mom and dad divorced and Chloe's mom got custody of her, but does her dad experience space and time in the same area as she and care about her existence and have a opinion on this? I also want to know that because we would love to know, I think, like a Johnny dad conversation. So let's move on to another great couple. I mean, oh my God. And this is a messy one. It's Milo and Anthony. So we are right in the middle of a very heated fight. And the heated fight is in between Sarah, Anthony's sister, and Manon, who in the last episode, it was revealed that for some reason, Manon thought it was okay to tell Anthony's twin sister that sometimes she's like, I don't fucking want to be married to this asshole at all. And I don't think it's worth it. And I am thinking I'm going to leave. And she expected Anthony's twin sister to hear that and still be on her side, like, yeah, I get it. My stupid brother can be a stupid asshole. Yeah, I know. We're so happy that you're in all of our lives, and thank you so much. And you'll work it out. And I'm just gonna let this go in one ear and out the other because I'm not affected by your tone. That's the problem. Often people will say things and not experience them as the other person in the room and expect them to feel the same way you do and thusly react the same way you do. Like Manon is wrong to me. I don't care that she thought she was friends with this girl. You're not friends with the twin sister of your husband to make wildly, I'll be honest, like feudalistic statements about your marriage and expect it not to have repercussions. That's the truth. It's why you shouldn't do that. You should have a therapist or anyone else not related to him, like your friends, or like it shouldn't be, it really shouldn't be your friends. It really should be a therapist or like an outside party's opinion that never sees you guys. It shouldn't be your family because then when they see him, they think some type of way. Like, it's just words have sting, words have meaning, words last. You know what I'm saying? Like they are important. And it's for a reason. I think that it's foolish to think I think it's foolish, indulgent. I think it's narcissistic to think that you can just say things to someone and expect them to behave the way you want them to behave after. Manon is so like, I can't believe you would take the words I said in confidence and twist them against me. I'm like, she's not twisting them. she's saying them to you. The words you said about her husband, your brother. So what's the problem? He's right there. You can, I mean, it is, I will also say that it is indicative that Sarah thinks they probably should break up. I'm sure when Sarah heard that, she was like, good girl, leave. Merci and bonsoir. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that in a way because unfortunately, I don't think that Anthony is a prize. Like, I'm not looking at Anthony and being like, oh my God, sun and the moon, rise and falls on that one, honey. And that's unfortunate for Manon that like her, grandfather or grandmother was like, he is everything. Why is he with you, you ugly piece of shit? Like that sucks, right? But at the same time, Manon literally yells and chastises him. I don't think there are people in this world that I wonder if like she was to watch this, if you're really to see like, do you hear how you talk to him? Do you hear how you like are angry all the time with him and like demean him all the time? Like, do you hear yourself doing that? If they do, like half of me thinks she'd be like, well, it's just because he da 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 da. And she would defend herself because I have to do everything because he's doesn't help me or whatever. Their main issues are the following things. Again, he raised their one kid because she provided for them, and the kid now really only likes him. One. Two, they seem to have a completely different relationship with money in that he would rather do nothing and survive on air and love, and she wants Louis Vuitton bags. That's it. And so he wants to do the bare minimum just so that he can do whatever. And she wants to do everything so she can have everything. And it's interesting because I hate to say this, I'm more on her side than him. It would make me sad. I can't be with someone who has no drive and who feels like content to surrender to doing the least because this person feels overwhelmed by anything else. At the same time, he was sort of given a focus on raising the child, and so thusly I think there were a lot of like weird situations set up in the way that she spoke to him and their dynamics and also what they had agreed upon for their own family culture, how they deal with money, all of that. It didn't seem like they got on the same page before they decided to make a baby. And this does seem like a last ditch effort to rectify a failing marriage. And she seems to be completely unaware of how she comes off. So obviously, Anthony's family do feel, like blindsided that they're leaving. They're really upset. Jacob and Sarah feel that way. At one point before the family leaves, she goes into her like green. She's wearing green. Goes into her green kitchen. They have another like separate green room. Obviously, their favorite green color is green. Maybe she got that green card. I'm not quite sure. Ben is just passed out, honey, in Anthony's arms. It's so cute. I do have a picture. Yeah, what a beautiful baby. And what a beautiful, like, color of sage green that adorns the kitchen cabinets. I mean, is that a refacing job, honey? Can you come to my apartment? I'll do it. So basically, then his parents come in, and Manon is like defensive of her position again, and his mom have to be like, okay, well, listen, we see both sides. We understand. We're gonna leave because that was our daughter, and that was our son that you talked about. So, girl, go to bed. I mean, we have two dogs in this fight, and it's not you. We kind of hope that our two dogs eat you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. It feels weird to me that she doesn't understand this situation. Whose people are who made who? Like, those older people made Sarah and Anthony. they didn't make you. They don't I don't feel like they even follow your Instagram page. They're not big fat positive fans on Instagram. I'm just saying like they're not body positive. I'm just saying like they're not people that like would have sought you out. They're not fans of yours that brought you to meet Anthony, their son, and was like, please, 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 please take love upon our dumb son Anthony and take him from our family. Like that's not, unless you tell me it is, the backstory of this couple, but it almost feels like she acts like it is. Again, only because I feel like she needs to know like where her loyalties lie. It's not them. So she does get a little power nap with Ben, and that makes me happy. And then while she has a leopard bonnet and rollers in her hair, they talk and he packs. They apologize. I'm sorry, they talk as he packs. The sister had apologized the day before. She does have a Louis Vuitton bag. She at one point is like, "Can I talk to you? Just put your butt right here." She like treats him kind of like how he treats Ben. She says that he doesn't resent him, and she does realize how lucky she says when she sees him. She says that she is bringing her American dream back home to France. They fight in the car though, and they also fight in the car on the way to the airport right in front of Ben. And then it made me realize they probably fucking fight in front of that baby all the goddamn time. No wonder why that baby doesn't like you, because you're always yelling at the person the baby knows the most. And again, like I'm just saying, words matter, tone matter. It just is so interesting. Okay, let's move on to Madeline and Luke. Oh my God, honey. I would have said this. This picks up on a very Gino Jasmine coded situation. This feels very two people playing from a playbook that was successful in the past. So we start with some gentlemen just like skating and also doing twirls on their helmets. It's like a very athletic maneuver in Colombia. Madeline, is looking for an apartment with her friend, and she comes dressed in Jackie O's finest. It's a button up chiffon blouse with pearls added. Her hair is up like in a messy bun slash chignon. There's pieces down. She is trying to give just like the oldest money possible. You know what I'm saying? Um, At the same time, her friend Catherine's like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited and what's happening?" And she's like, "I'm buying this place because I want an investment property. I want to be able to buy it, and then when Luke comes here, we're not gonna move in here. It's not for me and Luke to live into. I'm going to turn it out and make a lot of money from it." And then her friend's like, "Why doesn't Luke just buy it for you?" And she's like, "No, no, no. I'm buying it for me so that I own it all the time." He bought that business, made Bouillotti, which is surprisingly, as she said, doing well, much better than anything he's ever put money in. Ever, especially those sunglasses, honey. I wonder if those sunglasses, I wonder what weird like back problem they have from a seller, why those aren't going off. Anyway, I think it's Coke. So anyway, God bless. So as she said, she's making a lot of money, and it feels good for her because she got a little backstory. Her mom had her at 16, and we see a picture of her mom, and her mom is gorgeous. I mean, that's a beautiful person, honey. But it was hard, and at like age 12, she said she ran away first to her grandparents and then just like out, honey. And then she starts to say that she worked in the travel industry and as a party promoter. Now, I don't know the answers to those things. Like, I, would love to know, like, were you a flight attendant? Travel industry, were you a hotel receptionist? Did you work in concierge? Travel industry. Like, are you on the TripAdvisor social team? I need to know a little, like, it begged more questions. Now, party promoting, I feel like it's maybe more like she was trying, maybe dancing around, maybe like being like a bottle girl or something, or a go-go dancer, I would assume. Because to me, she seems to want to have an image of like pearls, button-up shirts, when we know intrinsically that like that's not the Madeline we met. She's also 2 years old, so I mean we're not gonna pretend that Madeline's like, Leona Helmsley. It's a huge reference. I do love Madeline's friend who thinks that she's just wasting all of her time, talent, beauty, youth on Luke, who's a dumb asshole, who's like stupid old. And that makes me really, really happy because it makes me happy anytime I get to think about seeing a scene when Luke gets there of her friends like making fun of him. So we also get to remember the fact that he's from Fraser Park, which I know as being a woodsy area in Southern California that a lot of camps happen at, including the camp that I went to in my youth, which was the St. Nicholas Orthodox camp in Fraser Park. So every time I see that, I'm like, oh my God, honey, summer camp. Now, uh, mm, he is amongst friends, and I don't know a lot of people from Fraser Park. His friends are decidedly one note, and the one note is bros that would blow up dolls and invite strippers to one of their homes. Now, this is where again, it's very Gino and Jasmine coded. Luke knows, we all know. No one walking God's green earth that has seen one episode of them doesn't know that Madeline wouldn't be happy with that. Luke knows. Luke's like, if she saw this, she would freak out. What does Luke do? Honey, he sits down and gets that Gino special, which I mean is titties and butt in face, happy smiles, money out. You know what I'm saying? It's the classic setup of a foreshadowing, oh shit moment. We know what's going to happen. She's going to find out and she's going to be very, very upset. She's going to storm off. She's going to either slap him or throw a drink at him and, maybe say something hopefully like really biting, cutting, mean, like maybe he has a small dick or he'll never get anyone as hot as her. I mean, who knows what it's going to be. And then she'll like storm off and then he will have to swallow his pride and go up after her. That's what's going to happen. We know that. And then maybe like Catherine will be there too. So then she can be like, girl, that's what I told you. He's dumb, We also get another memory, which is that in seasons prior, okay, he has a friend and Madeline has started a rumor about his friend because Brian is his friend and Brian and Vala, who knows Madeline, hung out in Colombia and Brian tried to come for Madeline. That's what Brian forgot. Brian was like, hey, just so you know, Luke, Madeline like one time had a party and like took off her top and slept in a bed with some dude or whatever. And then she was like, oh no, you fucking cheat all the time. And then he tells a story that Madeline tried to start a rumor against him when we saw him, go for her jugular on TV. So Brian isn't shit. And Brian hates Madeline. And none of those guys want him to probably leave or be with him. And also, he says that he has to do the stripper thing. I mean, listen, he has no choice. His hands are tied. All right. He didn't want to do it, but it's a rite of passage. What's he going to do? Say no, kick her out? He can't do that. He's a gentleman from Fraser Park. And he won't do it. Okay, so we get a new couple, honey. It's Greta and Matthew. Greta is giving Velma from Scooby-Doo, right? A little bit. I'm not mad about it. For sure not. Is this a Hill House dress? I'm not quite sure. But she has a cat. Cat's named Hazel. We pick up on a cat photograph session, just like mine. I mean, except there's no cat in that picture. And she says that Hazel is the cat version of her. He's an Aries. He's always hungry. He's quirky. He's passionate. Now she is 27. She's from Oklahoma. She is cool as fuck. Like What a very interesting person who has a lot of like depth, a lot of passions, and a lot of like vulnerability, like and a lot of like strength to I think talk about it. Like Greta seems like a very real person. This seems like a very real couple in the ways that other people don't, let's just say. Um she went got her whole law degree, passed the bar 3 days ago. She loves them animals. Honey, she loves animals. I mean, my woman wants to go into animal law. I mean, obsessive. She's a vegan. Vegans are intense. It's not that vegans are intense. It's just that sometimes vegans are intense. Like, if you just choose to be vegan in your life, of course, great, great. Live by your morals. But often people who make loud declarations of their moral compasses often then assume other people will follow suit on the exact same, right? Like loud fundamentalist Christians think that everyone should be Christian. Loud fundamentalist, uh, Muslims definitely think everyone should be Muslims. Um, vegans truly, like, yeah, once you subscribe to a religion suchly and you indoctrinate yourself, it's somewhat hard not to pass judgment on those that aren't living by your own code, seemingly. Unless you seem to be neither 100% extreme in anything and just live your life with a certain amount of grace and flexibility, then maybe you just assume that everyone else does too and you have compassion and grace for them. I'm not quite sure, you tell me. But anyway, here we are. So she met Matthew. He's wildly cool as well. I mean, like cool. I mean, like I don't know. Like I like this couple. I mean, he's from England. He is obsessed with building ships, honey. He loves eccentric women. Then he says this whole thing that he thinks like, his dating life is like pasta. Again, hasta la pasta. Pasta, spicy pasta, where he starts to give this metaphor and pasta, the actual pasta part, not involved. He says he's the sauce that is the base, and he likes spicy, eccentric women who come in and spice things up, just like change everything, like change his whole life, like upside down his life. And that's so interesting. What a very interesting POV to have. I think that he's not alone in that, but it's just the way that he said that was, I mean, very truthful. So basically, he, you know, she was looking for a guy in finance, 6'3", blue eyes, trust fund. He doesn't have a trust fund, and he definitely works in finance and he has blue eyes. She was taking a class in Oxford and went on that vegan Tinder, honey. And you know what they do? They give you 1, 2 super likes a year, and you have to be miserly with them. You have to Scrooge McGooge, make sure that you are cognizant of like who deserves it. But when she saw him, it was the fact that he had a job. She was like super like, and he was like, wow, ballsy. You know what? I like that kind of thing. And so, yeah, he went out with her and they just had the fucking time of their lives. They went to like some castle. They just kept talking. He didn't know exactly what to do. He's nerdy. She's nerdy. They both seem a little bit neurodivergent. He said that he made question index cards for the date. So, cut to she's moving and she has to rehome Hazel because Hazel's old. And also, she has to move in now with him and his parents. And his parents have like a dog and a cat. And Hazel won't be having that. Absolutely fucking not. Not on Hazel's life. So before then, though, we get her great girl time hang. We get to meet all of her friends. They all hang out. She comes over to her friend. It's Greta baking, bracelet making, loose waves, muted jeans. Okay, so it's Chelsea's house, and in this picture, Hannah is there in black, and then we'll meet Lainey in red. And they call themselves the Wives Club, but really, she says they're more like grandmas, and I relate to this hard because they fucking love opera, tea, and knitting. Oh my god, I love cashmere tea. I love brunch. I love Rococo art. I love Victoria magazine. Like I definitely have a lot of grandma shit inside me. I love like a marmy nightgown. Oh my god. like Vermont country store, like full nightgown, just a panel here, loose afterward, and nothing's better. She lets her friends know, it's 1.5 bathrooms. This is small, she's going. So it's not just that she has to give up Hazel. It's like a lot of things. And this is where this is where that she also is like, you guys, I have had a weird life. Okay. Let me just tell you about it. This is obviously Greta talking. She's like, my I had a weird life where I've never really felt comfortable in my home. My mom got really sick and ended up dying. But before she died, I got these gerbils. I love animals and they saved my life. But then my dad got remarried to like a fucking horrible stepmom. You know what I'm saying? Like the Disney kind that like never wanted me or like was mad that I was existed. And so I just learned to keep my goddamn mouth shut and to feel awkward all the time in my own space. And now I get to do that again. I'm putting myself in that situation. And I felt so bad for her because I hate feeling uncomfortable in my space. I mean, like, I'll do whatever it takes to go to some sort of nook and feel like some sort of amount of comfort or security. And I really like Greta. I think she, has like a nuanced specificity about her. And I really hope that she can, move out and, I don't know, do something nerdy to make money together. He's in finance. Why does he have to live with his parents? I mean, what I'm saying? Are they living like what in a London penthouse? No, again, 1.5 bathrooms. Oh, she can't practice law there. Even though I would love her to be like a barrister. She says you have to pay a lot of money for some crazy ass test. Then I was like, well, can you do that though? And then she said she would just go there and volunteer in like animal law. And I'm like, okay, great, but they don't pay money. Those animals, they don't pay. Talk about Disney movies. I'm sorry about your dead mom and your mean stepmoms. And I know you little princesses in those movies love to put out your arm and have all the birds fly to you, but none of those birds come flying with cash. Just heartfelt tunes. Greta. Anyway, yeah, eccentric women are awesome. I was happy to have them on my screen. I'm invested in their love. I really am. I'm invested in their love authentically and sincerely in a way that I am not invested in any other couple's love here. I care about Jenny and Sumit. I want them to be together. But if Jenny and Sumit broke up, I don't think I would be like devastated, nor would I be like super surprised. But I guess surprised. I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be devastated. I like Jenny and Sumit. I want them to stay together. But obviously, Manon and Anthony should not be together. Johnny and Khloe, I mean, that's destined for failure. Meline and Luke, there's no one that could be like, talk about a power couple of the year. Oh, honey, what genuine love. The Romeo and Juliet without the tragic ending of our time. Like, obviously not. So, like, it is lovely that the producers gave us seemingly a sincere love match that indeed involves interesting, complex personalities, backstories, and a change of environment that's going to warrant further attention. So, you guys, that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to, you can absolutely follow along by subscribing and hitting that notification bell on YouTube. Make sure you've liked this video. Also, you can follow me on Substack, Chris Farah. I'm Chris L. Farah. That's the L for Lebanese on Instagram, TikTok. I have Vanity Farah as my Facebook group, as well as Chris Farah on Facebook. So all of those exist. And thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to continue this season and new shows as well. All right. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe. Make some art sometimes. All right, my loves. Bye. Okay. So now that I'm done with that, we can get into what we're talking about. I am sorry. One thing is that I am sitting in such a way that I can't put my legs in front of me. So this is my own fault. I'm wildly uncomfortable, but I think I'm going to change positions. Um, I am happy that they have a genuine couple on the show. Hi. Yeah, like, is anyone into Sister Wives? That's what I'm excited for next. I'm into Sister Wives. And then in October, they're gonna do John Candy's, documentary, John Candy, I Like Me. That's gonna be so great. Oh, I love you so much. Good night. So yeah, if you but that's happening, Sister Wives is happening. That is really all I'm watching right now. Like, I think that there's yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything like crazy happening. I think that okay, this is my pausing. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is going to come back for what is this I thought would be the second part of the second season, but they're gonna I think call it the third season, which obviously they picked up on the last oh shit moment of finding out about Jesse hooking up with that dude, right? So we have to now follow that drama. And I think they're going to probably time it to cycle into the fact that Taylor Paul Frank he is now the Bachelorette. So, um, because Hulu, because NBC Universal and Hulu own all of those things, they get to like somewhat cycle their stars, and obviously the Mormon people are stars. Really think about it. It's like there used to be studio stars like Elizabeth Taylor, right, and MGM. But just think, like now there's Max Discovery and using their catalog of stars like Jasmine and Rob to put on different shows. Or Hulu using Mormon Wives for Mormon Wives, Vanderpump Villa. Two of them are on Dancing with the Stars, and now Taylor is obviously the new Bachelorette. I'm only saying this because do you know that I actually have a degree in acting? um, so it's so interesting because this world has changed in how we want to experience storytelling and genuineness and authenticity. And I think cycling through like celebrity culture, especially in the aughts, made us, and like obviously, it existed before that. It sort of made us hungry for what is real in a way that reality shows and these docuseries really feed that hole, even though mostly and oftentimes they're fake. But at the same time, the ones that are successful, you have to create other vehicles for them, and you have other vehicles that like need stars and need names, and so now that's why you have a lot of like influencers and stuff like that. It's so yeah, like the way entertainment has and continues to evolve, I mean, minute by minute, from TV to screen watching to vertical entertainment to reels, all of that. It is wildly fascinating and like keeps you on the edge of your seat to like realize what is happening and what people are watching and where they're watching now. Because I think that you have to keep up with knowing such things if you work in the industry. You don't have to keep up with entertainment or pop culture truly if you do anything important, or live on a farm somewhere. But at the same time, the opposite, and this is kind of like what I started talking about at the very beginning when I was referencing Terminator and AI. The opposite is true in that I think that there is a certain human need to always experience authentic live performance where humanity is shown through some sort of digestible story medium art form. And I don't think that can be taken away from AI. And I definitely don't think you can live your whole life consuming media only on your tablets. Sorry, entertainment stories only on your tablets, and be a fully, I guess, cultured, sophisticated, connected to the human experience and the human storytelling, uh, like energy by only experiencing stories through a screen. I think that you have to attend live theater or storytelling or comedy. You have to, and that's why I guess churches are a thing. You have to be in the same room as other people and bear witness to something, and then look at each other, gasp, maybe sing, maybe clap, stand or sit. To me, it's the same thing as like sharing bread, like going to dinner with someone, having someone at a table. Obviously, the entire American culture was revolutionized like upon TV dinners in 1950s, when we sort of went from eating all together, where food was like this communal art form and things were made and prepared and they took a long time and whatnot, to a sort of convenience. And I'm not saying that I'm not above it. TV dinners are one thing, packaged things are another, ragu and pasta is another, but then also Postmates is another. It's this where we impart meaning and time and energy. So if food is reduced to get it as soon as possible inside me, then sitting at a table, sharing space, talking and conversing, that's outdoor. Especially because you're like, well, I can do two things at once. It turns out I can eat and blank. And the blank isn't usually spending time with loved ones. It's usually I can eat and watch TV, eat and look over these notes, eat and drive. you know, uh, so I guess it's all somewhat, yeah, this idea that we don't sit at a table, ask each other about our day on a daily basis, and like on a weekly basis, which I know that sounds crazy, but not really. On a weekly basis, would you experience storytelling in a room with other people? Like on a weekly basis, would you either go see a movie in a movie theater, which I still is a screen, but fine, I'll give you that. Or would you go see a comedy show? Or would you go to an opera? Or would you go to a poetry reading? Or would you go to a dance show? Or would you go see a musical or a theater piece? Like, would any of those things, or, and I, anyway, would any of those things happen on a weekly basis for you that wouldn't absolutely feed you as a person, just like eating dinner at a table with loved ones every night and talking about your day, and then a weekly experience of your own humanity. And then as you move throughout your life, you remember these pockets of brilliance you saw, or the comments that were made by someone across a table one night that feed you as you move through your life. That could be mundane. It can be devoid of human connection. There's a lot of problems in this world. And so I think the choices that we make to, we think, survive it, protect us, actually like deny us of, the nourishment we actually need. But all that to say, I intrinsically feel that there is no way that humanity won't run to live performance spaces as a desperate desire to have the antithesis of AI, the antithesis of a robotic, somewhat meaningless experience. Everyone just talking on phones, texting. To actually be like faced with humanity is hard nowadays, because to even say those words, I think that there's one thing to have like images of humanity on social media and how we react to those. It could be political leanings. It could be like where our ideologies lie. It could be on the day, like whether we're seeing images of humanity of like children in Gaza, whether we're seeing images of humanity of like people being shot, like whatever it is. social media and these screens make us somewhat overwhelmed with the world, therefore scared to experience what would actually be good for us, I think, because it feels all too much. I don't know what the answer is except for like a hyper awareness and control of how we ingest content, images. And it would have to be like completely tailored to you knowing yourself and what you can, what you can be capable of. But I guess I'm saying all this because I'm a theater arts lover and I'm studying Chekhov right now, and that playwright deals with like the smallness and yet immenseness, the smallness and profoundness of humanity, the pockets of like desperation and need and love that is just like in the minutia. And sometimes I wish that we could all slow down and pay attention to that and then live in those moments a little more. But anyway, yeah. I'm excited to again keep talking with you all. If you haven't yet, please make sure that you like this video and give me comments after you're done. Wax poetic with me. Give me your thoughts on anything I said or anything you disagree with. Um, I love you guys so much. If you want, please make sure to follow me, Chris L. Farah, and also go to my Substack if you haven't yet. I'm writing fun things there. And I will talk to you later. All right. Okay. Bye.